What's the transition been like moving to tight end at the college level, and what have been some of the biggest challenges you've tried to address here in the last year or so?
Yeah, so I mean, the transition has been more fun than anything. I think going back to where I've really been at my best, which was at the offensive side of the ball, has just been comforting to me. And having all the guys with me, having Ferg as a role model, and Ash and Rooch, and having all those guys helping me out, and Coach Turner, I think it hasn't been a bad transition. I think it's been good, and I'm learning. I'm learning quick. And I'm really just trying to figure out what I can do to help the team and how I can use my athleticism.
Go to Jeff.
Jaylan, kind of following up on that. First of all, Mickey said you've been banged up a little bit, so you haven't been able to get as much reps as you would like. But when you are healthy and you get a little more experience, what do you hope you can bring to that position?
Right. For me, I've kind of just always been like adept with my speed and my ability to get separation and to make plays. So I feel I can bring the same type of energy that Ferg brings, or the same type of energy that Rooch brings, but in the pass game as well as the run game, trying to just do my best to be me and be individual, and not really try to compare myself to anybody, because I know that my ceiling is going to be different from the other guys, and theirs as well as from mine. So really just trying to use my athleticism, my speed, and hopefully just make plays.
Any other questions for Jaylan? Go to Colton.
Jim, when you guys have a group, especially in this tight end room where it's so many guys competing for roles, just what do you think is going to separate you in Coach Turner's mind? Like, what are some of the things that you need to prove here in spring or when you get to fall to earn some of those reps?
Yeah, so for me, I started most of the season at receiver, working on my routes and working on my hands, and really helping that transition to offense from defense, and trying to figure out what I can do to impact people and just be a threat on the field. So I feel like with me being on the field, I feel there's more threats out there. There's Ferg, there's me, there's KP, there's Danny, and there's a sense of fear that like the tight ends are also bringing that power, just like the receivers are as well. So like I said before, really just using my athleticism, my speed to kind of threaten those safeties and hopefully cause a lot of mismatches between those linebackers trying to guard me and more of a different body. So
back to Jesse.
You talked about that you feel like you're learning pretty quick, and you did some wide receiver work. Can you share what are some of the really small details that you've had to learn about being a tight end, whether it's footwork or anything else that you just didn't have to worry about when you came in playing defense?
Yeah. So being under Coach Rudy as the coordinator, well, now Coach Chris, but being under him, it's all about details. So me just coming from defense to offense really isn't as simple as me just learning the plays. It's more like you have to develop habits that the other guys have had since high school. You have to work on your hands and constantly looking at your footwork and how you can improve on your blocking, hand placement, and seeing plays, understanding the scheme. Like when I came to offense, if you just learn tight end, you're not going to understand the offense. It's a lot more complex than that, and you have to kind of be like a offensive lineman. You're also like a receiver, and for me, in like a receiver O-line body, it's different. It's difficult as well. So the schemes are complex. There's so many things you have to focus on and key details that you kind of have to like look into. So that's been a challenge, but at the same time, it's been so much fun, and it's been so easy for me to just like watch the film and want to look at the film and try to understand best. But I just think that the hands that I had to develop at receiver, the footwork I had to develop for my route running, and then also the physicality of run blocking was also another thing I had to learn as well. So it's been a combination of a bunch of things, but it's been great.